beautiful day. I am back in the Carolinas, and it's just one of those days I'm feeling great. So let's have a very fun stream today. We're going to talk a little bit about the way in which children's minds actually function. And I just want to get TikTok set up here, so give me 1 second if you could bear with me. All right, let me grab the talk. Okay. And let's do go live. What's called How Your Child's Mind Works. How Your Child's Mind Works. Okay. And let's let this rip. That'll do. Done. And 3, 2, 1. Good morning, TikTok. You are here with YouTube, and it is a splendid day here in the sunny South. I had been on vacation for a little while, and I am back in my humble abode, and it's very good to be back where I belong with my plants, running my sprinkler, and doing everything I had to do. But the last couple weeks have given me perspective, and I had a lot of great experiences, and I really wanted to talk about the way a child's mind functions and how that happens from the time they are born to the time they are really about 6 years old, when their ability to reason has really come full circle and you could really start to do some fun stuff with them. But those first 6 years of working with our children are so important because those are the years that stay with them in their subconscious throughout the rest of their life. And you will never meet a person who's 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, who aren't affected, whether they know it or not, by what happened within the first 6 years of their life. So this time is so important. So the question is, how does a child's mind work? How does a child's mind function? And to think that we start out as this single-celled organism, right? You start out with this one little cell, which is so small you can't see it with the naked eye. I mean, you can't even fathom how small these things really are. And within that is our genetic coding. And within that is our chromosomes. And within that are our genes. And these are the things that make up who we are. And they start to the cells start to divide and multiply, and before you know it, this one cell turns into an eyeball, and it turns into your organs, and it turns into your brain. And then when you keep in mind that that's where your child is starting from, that's your child's starting point, you start to say, okay, well, we can start to see how the child's mind is forming. Sorry, Lucy, stop. I know, the dog next door is being super annoying. I can barely hear myself. The dog next door is going crazy. Also started from a single organism, not nearly as evolved. So, your child is born, and the reason I bring up that we start as this single cell is what's happening in your child's mind is that same process. There's only one process that makes up the building block of life. And it's the same for every animal in the animal kingdom, right? And it starts from that one cell, and it just compounds, like compounding interest. Well, the same thing is going on. For the love of God, stop barking! My neighbor's dog I love him, but he's just, ugh. And that cell is compounding, and it's making more and more and more of them. So when your child comes into the world, they enter into the absorbent mind phase. And we all know this. We all know this is true, right? You don't have to give your child any training whatsoever, and they will pick up on language. They will learn syntax and context, and they will learn everything that goes with your language. My daughter is 16 months old, and she understands pronouns, right? I say you, I say he, I say she, and my daughter knows what I'm talking about. She picks up on that language without me ever having to sit down and give a formal lesson. And children are, they're encoded with whatever this genetic code is that makes us up, are encoded with the ability to pick up on these things. Where if you take me or you and you drop us right now in Italy, and this is the distinction between what's different between your mind and your child's mind. Because your mind is in a logical phase, in the phase of reasoning. But your child's mind is in the absorbent phase. And that's not inferior, that's actually superior. Your child has a superior mind to you. And hear me out, because you'll see in a second. You go, oh, I knew that. I've always known that's true. If we drop you off in Italy, by the way, if you guys could like and share, it really helps me out. So if you take your child and you drop that child off in Italy right now, 2 months old, within 1 year or 2 or 3 years, your child will speak fluent Italian. They will pick up on that language as if it were nothing, right? But you could stay there for 30 years and you will not pick up on that language as well as your child. And the reason for that is you have exited out of the absorbent mind phase and you are in that logical reasoning phase, which is great in its own way, but you can't pick up on new information the way your child picks up on information. So now that we established that your child is in that absorbent phase where they have this incredible ability to process and take in information and to form synapses in their brain, because their cells are expanding at a rapid rate. Just like you started as that one cell, there was that one cell and your child's boom, boom, brain cell, brain cell, brain cell. Your child's mind is expanding. It's in the absorbent phase. So how does your child get from that absorbent phase? Hey, Valerie. By the way, if you guys have any questions about this stuff, fire away. I'm going to go back and answer all your questions when I'm done. I just want to get through this. So how does your child get from that absorbent mind to that more logical reasoning mind when they're 6, 7, 8 years old, that adult type of mind that they'll eventually develop? Well, when your child's born, they can't reason. And why is that? Why can't your child reason? Well, when you go to reason, right, you are basically making connections. You're doing logical things. You're saying, if I step on water, my foot falls into the water, therefore I can't walk on water, right? You have memories. You could think back and say, I stepped on water that one time, and when I stepped on the water, I fell into it, and therefore, if I step into it again, I'll fall into it again, therefore I can't walk on water. But your child will walk right up to water and think they could walk on it. Why? Because your child hasn't had that experience. They haven't had that memory. So when your child is born and they enter into that absorbent mind phase, they start to experience the world. And those experiences give them memories. They know that when they cry, mom shows up and she provides milk. And now they have that memory. So now they're going to cry again because they want that milk, right? So your child starts to have experiences, and these experiences start to form memories. And these memories, the cells and the synapses are coming together, right? And they get one memory over here and one memory over there. And over time, the more memories they get, right, a framework is being created in their mind. This is the world around me. This is mom. This is dad. These are the people that make me feel safe. When I cry, they put a blanket on me and make me feel warm, right? These are the experiences that I've had, the memories that I've had. And when your child starts to get enough memories, right? Because it's just absorbing and making memories. This is a kitchen. This is a living room. This is my brother Brady. And they're making all these memories. And your child is getting them through their experiences. Now they start to have these building blocks. These memories, these experiences become the building blocks of your child's mind. The framework through which your child could begin to reason with the world. And once they have enough memories, they start to put them together. Their mind begins to construct. Your child has to be constructed, their mind. Their mind begins to construct the ability to reason. Those synapses start to connect. And when they connect, when one memory connects to another, boom. For the first time, using those building blocks of memories, your child's mind has constructed the ability to do logic and to reason. And after a few years, and it starts younger, it's a wide range of development, you will see your child shift from the absorbent mind to the logical, reasonable mind. And that is the way your child's mind functions. It starts with experiences, it turns experiences into memories, and in time, those memories connect, those synapses connect, and your child has formed the ability of logic, the ability of reason. It's very important that we as parents understand how the child's mind works. I'm still waiting for my 20-year-old to discover logic. Well, we'll talk about that. I could talk about that too. But what I want to talk about is knowing that, understanding how your child's mind works. How do we educate them in early childhood? And I'm going to start from a young age. I'm going to start, by the way, for anyone interested in what I do, you can find us at classicallearner.com. So, when parents have a new child, let's just say you're a first-time parent and you just had a child. Here's what I always tell them. You need to create as language-rich an environment as you can. And why do I say that? It's just basic math. And everyone knows this. Everyone instinctively knows this. I actually figured this out before I started doing the scientific reading on it. And the scientific reading, it confirmed what I had figured out without doing that. It's just logical. My logical mind. So, if you take a child, and child A, by the time they are 1 year, and these are very, I don't know how many words a child generally hears. I'm just making up numbers here. But if child A hears 100,000 words spoken by the time they are 1 year old, by the time they're 1, and child B, again, like and share, child B hears 1 million words spoken by the time they are 1, which child is more likely to have a comprehensive understanding of language? Which child is more likely to have a better command of words, the spoken word, and what's going on around them? Child B. Child B heard 900,000 more words than child A. So when you have a new child, and your child needs those experiences and they need those memories, every word you speak is an experience. Every word you speak is a new memory. And as they're turning 8 months old, 9 months old, 10 months old, they start to form those synapses. Oh, I heard that word. And you know what? When he said the word ice, there was this little ice cube. He said the word ice, and I was looking at this thing, ice. Your child starts to speak when they have the experience, it becomes a memory, and then the synapse connects. And now they made the connection that this is ice. That is how your child's mind works. Right? So you want to give them as language-rich an environment as you could possibly give them. And what I tell parents is that what you want to do is to narrate their life. You want to narrate the life of your newborn child. So what I always did with my children, the first year of their life, I tried to be as language rich as I could possibly be. I'm picking up the cup. Let me grab the handle of the cup. I'm grabbing the handle with my hand. Oh, wow, look. I grabbed the handle with my hand. I'm taking the cup and I'm bringing the straw up to my mouth. I just put the straw in my mouth. Mosquito. Night, night. I put the straw in my mouth. I took the cup, I'm taking the cup, and I'm putting the cup down. I just put the cup down. Should I lift the cup up? Should I put the cup down? Should I lift the cup up? Yeah, I mean, these trolls are such losers. Who cares about them? Like, imagine hearing... Like, I understand when I talk about some political type things where the trolls might want to come and get me. But, like, this talk is phenomenal. This talk is gold. Like, I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want this talk to be out in the world? Parents should understand this stuff. And, like, a lot of it seems obvious, but it's not. A lot of parents don't get this stuff. Right? So, oh, man. A spider's attacking me now. I don't like the look of that spider. I don't like the look of that spider. Alright. Alright. It's probably coming to kill me now. Alright. It's probably Mossad coming after me. Maybe MI6. I don't know. I don't know, people. Maybe some transnational corporation. So, you want to give your child as language rich as an environment as possible because those are the experiences. Every word is an experience. And every experience creates a memory. And then when the synapses are created, your child begins to reason spoken word. What is language? And then what you'll see often is that your child might understand language before they speak it. And the reason for that is they simply haven't developed the motor skills. Every time I move my lips, these are motor skills, right? So when parents get concerned, for example, my child's not speaking, he's 17 months old, well, that might be a concern, it might not. Does your child understand what you're saying? And if they do, the motor skills will come behind that. Now, everything in early childhood, you want to be in context, right? So, I wouldn't say, it's cold outside today, right? I mean, I might say that, but that's not as powerful. But what I can do is take this and say, the ice is cold, right? The ice is cold. I can put it on my child's hand. The ice is cold. Brr, the ice is cold. And if you wanted to provide really good context, I would then take something that's hotter, obviously not something hot, but like hotter, like maybe a warm cup of tea, and I would take my child's hand and say, the cup of tea is Uncle Sam, sorry. Uncle Sam's going by. That's a fighter jet, you didn't know. That's the United States military. It's your taxpayer money at work. So what I would do is I'd put this ice cube in my child's hand and I'd say, this is cold and this cup is hot. And then I do it again. Cold, hot. And what you're doing is you're providing context because your child's mind at a young age, it's not working off of abstract reasoning. It's not working off of, describe the sun to a blind person. The sun is yellow, touching your skin. That's abstract. It's yellow and red touching your skin. All right, that's abstract, but if their abstract mind isn't developed, that's not going to help them. Everything in early childhood is in context. The ice is cold. The cup is hot. The lights are on. Right, flip the switch. The lights are off. On, off, on, off. Light, dark, light, dark. On, off, light, dark. Context. Because you're teaching your child in a manner that matches with where their mind is within its... Oh, come on. Man. Alright, it's very frustrating. Shoot, alright. Tech problems. If anyone has trouble signing up, I just got an email from a woman who's been trying to sign up this morning and saying she wasn't able to, which is very frustrating to me. So if anyone signs up, just let me know if you have any trouble. But I've also had some people join this morning, so I don't know. So that is how your child's mind works in context. So in early childhood, you really want to make sure that your child has a lot of experience and that they have that experience in context. So, when your child's 1 year in age, you should have them out in the garden. You should have them planting seeds with you and watching with their eyes. Let them watch the process. One of the funnest things we did this year in our nature unit study is we planted beans in a mason jar. And the reason that's cool is your child could watch through the mason jar as the roots come out and the roots go down, the sprout goes up. They can see the entire process. That's an in-context learning experience. And then that becomes a memory, and they can start to logic and reason around that memory, right? When you cook, your child turns on a burner and they see the water start to boil and steam. That's in context. It's a memory, and they can start to logic and reason around that. So you want to set up your child's environment so that they're doing and that they're learning through their experiences. They're creating as many memories as possible. And when you do this, you are creating the environment, the culture, the context that will allow your child's mind to form the synapses in which it can grow and create a framework of the world around it. So that's the way your child's mind works. And I really wanted to have a talk about this today. I hope that everyone found this to be very valuable. Because if you understand this concept, you can really start to do cool things with your child. And that's why I always say, get your child out in nature, have them doing observations, have them interacting with the world around them, because that's how you allow their young mind to gain the building blocks, the bricks, that it could start to construct its ability to reason around. And I should probably do more talks on that, because I think it's something that every parent should understand. It's not overly complicated, and so many people don't. I mean, really, if we were in a better society, there would be a lot of parenting courses offered on this. Maybe I could start to bridge that gap. As you all know, I'm not someone who believes in complaining. I'm someone who believes in identifying problems and then building solutions that could make the world better and could empower people. So I'm going to go back and what people said. Yes, even if you hit share and copy, it helps. Absolutely. I'm waiting for my 20-year-old to learn logic. Same with my wife. That made me laugh. Don't speak disparagingly about your wife. Verse descriptive language. Words are like kung fu moves. Yeah, I like that you use the term descriptive language. One of the things that I advocate for, and I've started doing assignments with our homeschool community, is you get your children out in nature, you have them observe nature, you narrate what you're seeing. It was a beautiful warm fall day. The sprinkler was shooting water up into the sky. You can see the drips coming off the leaves of the happy plants surrounding the sprinkler. Rays of sunshine permeating down to each individual blade of grass. You could see the sparkle shining back at your eye. The blue sky radiating in the background. With one white cloud in view. The trees standing tall. Branches looking like they're reaching out, trying to touch the sky above them. Leaves like fingertips. You can feel a slight breeze brushing against your skin. And every other breeze seemed to make the hair on your arm stand up just a little bit. It was one of those perfect fall days. Okay, Brady, can you narrate? What do you see? And then you have your child do their narration, and they're hearing you do it, and they're learning how to narrate what you're seeing, and then you're having your child do it. So you're doing descriptive language, and then you can do so many fun things. What I do with our assignments is then I include a what do you see, what do you hear, what do you smell, what do you taste, what do you touch, what are your five senses experiencing? And then you could do some type of fun assignment. So one of the assignments we had our children do is write a story in which a pine cone was brought to life through magic. Another one we did was to have the children write poetry based on what they were seeing around them. That was a fall assignment, right? But you're giving your child the experience. You're allowing them to think critically about what's happening around them, and then you are challenging them to connect those synapses, to make those connections in logic and reason through writing of a story, through the writing of poetry, which is great for children in early childhood. All of our children should be doing poetry. A really cool thing. You know, I'm a writer, so I could taste the sour explosion of Calamundan. My Calamundan's ripened. So I have Calamundan in my drink. No one probably knows what Calamundan. I'll show you guys what Calamundan is if I could get it. I probably can't get it. I don't know. I can't get it right now, but I'll bring a Calamundan out one of these days. They're too small-minded to understand this talk. I mean, imagine, again, I really can't understand why, like, when I talk about political issues, anyone who really understands me, like, I don't think Melissa would say Brett's political. Like, yeah, obviously I have political views, but I'm not political. I don't believe politics are the solution, and I think most of the public figures we see are actors. I think it's a show. You know, for more or less, they're controlled by financial interest and whatnot. But I have political views, obviously, but I'm not political. But I can understand why people want to troll me for that. And these are low-minded people, and they see my books on, like, the right to bear arms, and, like, they're very, you know, low-functioning. They're probably double-digit, you know, they're not all that in a bag of potato chips. But, you know, these aren't impressive people. If you had a conversation with them, it would probably be difficult to comprehend every fifth word they said because it's just incoherent babble. They're not, you know, they're not our best. You know, these people aren't our best. You know, they're not people you want to have a conversation with around a dinner table. They're, they're the kind of person you might bump into in a grocery store, and you hope you don't have to talk with them, but if you do, you make it a very quick interaction. You walk away and you thank God that you didn't have to talk to that person any longer because they're not very intelligent. But with that, you know, with that being said, oh, I have fun. Oh, with that being said, you would still think they would see the value in, okay, this guy's doing a very detailed talk. Hey, Hardwood, if you missed the beginning of this, go back and watch this one. This is one of my favorite talks I've ever given. It's all about how your child's mind works, like what's actually happening in there, and how the building blocks of your child's mind are being created, and then how those synapses come together to create the ability for logic and reason. So definitely go back and just catch the beginning of this one. But yeah, so those trolls, I mean, imagine not wanting someone to have that talk about how a child's mind actually forms, like how they start from a single cell and they create memories, and then through experiences, and then through that they construct the ability to reason. Like, oh, that's what you're gonna troll? Okay. Oh, I had a calamundin, but I dropped it. Yeah, when I first ate the calamundins, they taste like what are they called? Airheads? Not the I forget the candy name. The sour candies, the hard sour candies that are so delicious. I used to have them when I was a kid. I haven't had candy in so long. I don't remember what they're called. Except chocolate. Chocolate's kind of my weakness. But I haven't had a Reese's or a Kit Kat or anything in years. But I have alternatives, which still isn't great. But at least they don't have like Yellow 5 and Red Dye 40. Warheads, yes. This is why I tell people all the time that Hardwood Bear knows everything. In fact, Hardwood Bear, I'm no longer going to refer to him as Hardwood Bear. His new nickname is Bobby Fischer. And this is why I tell people that Bobby Fischer knows everything in the world. He's like, Warheads, of course. When we were in Missouri together, it was like maybe 1 p.m. and people were playing chess, and it was winner takes all. So Hardwood Bear gets on, it's like 1 p.m., and I go off and I'm doing some stuff, and about 6 p.m. I come back to the chess table, and Hardwood Bear's on the table. So I'm like, have you been on this whole time? He won 5 consecutive hours of chess matches. And that's why when I tell people Bobby Fischer Bear knows everything, I'm speaking from, that was my experience. So that's why he knew it was a warhead. But yeah, these calamondins, they taste exactly like warheads. And when I first had it, I was like, ew. And now, did I just say ew? I'm going to have to send Owen Benjamin a super chat for that. But, now, they're sour. Now I love them. Like, I just eat them. Delicious like candy. Calamundins. And finally, they took so long to mature. I had one of them mature months ago, and then I have a whole tree of calamundins that they've been green. And they finally matured, and I'm getting all the seeds. And this week, I am going to plant like 15 calamundin trees. I love these things. I'm going to have so many calamundins. I'm just going to be walking around popping little sour calamundins into my mouth. If you wanted to know what I'm going to be doing, it's that. And Melissa, of course, I will be giving a calamundin tree to, because Melissa crushes, and I'm very excited about things that are happening. Oh, I was so mad, by the way. I grew a mango tree all summer, like planted from seed, with the purpose of bringing it to my sister in Florida. and I was about an hour into my drive on my way to Florida, and I forgot the tree. I forgot the mango tree that I grew all summer for my sister, and she lives 8 hours away from me, and so I couldn't give her the tree, and I was very upset about that. But I'll have to go back there now to bring her the tree because I don't know. It's like my favorite present I've ever given to anyone, and I wasn't able to give it to her. And mango trees grow 200 to 600 mangoes a year. That is what you call a gift that keeps on giving. Right, Homeschools Connected is classicallearner.com. Frederick's a rabbit. Yep, everyone knew Warheads. They're like, Warheads, Brett. I was the only one that didn't know. I haven't had that type of candy since I was like 10, because when I was a kid, I got a bunch of cavities, like a bunch of them. And by the time I was like 10 or 12, I figured out why I was getting cavities. And I just completely cut off all that type of candy because I was so sick of it. And yeah, that's why God blesses us through pain. Like, that was a blessing, those cavities. I haven't had candy like that in 2 decades. I'm glad you're here. I've been meaning to buy your books. I know the Tuttle Twins family. If you know Connor, tell him that Brett Pike of Cubs to Bears is a big fan of his work. I'd appreciate that. I'm certain he knows who I am, so if anyone ever speaks to him, let him know I'm a big fan of what he does. Is it a normal cloud? That's the question. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the science experiment tomorrow. I was really excited about that one. I was like giddy making it last night. Give it, I was short on time and it was like 2:30 in the morning and I was frustrated. But still, I was giddy about making it. Yeah, president's a PR guy. He's like the public face of a corporation. Presidents don't really run things. I mean, they have some power, but not as not as much as people would think. I love growing mangoes and avocados. I have a pomegranate growing now, and it takes 6 years to get fruit. I'm glad you told me that. I have 2 Russian pomegranate trees, both of which are fruiting. Give it, the squirrels stole my pomegranates. But they did grow pomegranates before they were stolen. And I didn't. They must be 6 years old then. I bought them at a store, and I didn't know how old they were. 6 years? I got those pomegranate trees for I think $30 a tree. Wow. And I love that. I love pomegranates. Hey Stephanie. Glad to have you here as always. Well, Stephanie, get on the Discord. Get on there, talk. Everyone's friendly. I am signed up a little over a week ago. I'm shocked on how much you put into this. It's incredible. Thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate that. And make sure you check the Classical Learner announcements every morning, because that's where I post the new lessons. And then if you look on the left side menu under lesson plans, that's all the original lesson plans, unit studies I create, I post them there. So a ton of good stuff. And make sure you talk to everyone in the primary chat. Like, we have a great community. It's so funny because we have a lot of members now, and only a handful of them talk every day in the primary chat. I actually wish more people would get involved with that. It's such a good community. By the time I was 10, I got diabetes. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Would you ever think about making a group for your Canadians? Yes, I actually have been planning on doing that. We have a bunch of Canadians, so I need to make a Canada group. God knows you guys need it with Trudeau up there. Ugh. What a puppet disaster that guy is. By the way, it's so funny seeing the level of conditioning in our society. Like, it's amazing. Even like these people that are like, they think they're so awake and they're right-wing people. Like, I posted a video breaking down what the royal family really is. And these people are monsters. Their ancestors are monsters, and they're monsters. Remember that guy who very popularly didn't, you know what, himself? He was all tied in with that family. You know Jimmy Savile and his backstory? I could show you some news reports from before he was blown. He was like full access to the royal family. He walked in without even knocking the door. He was so close to them. Look at what that guy really was. These people are monsters. Look at the Panama Papers and the hiding of funds. They are the largest individual landowners in the entire world. These people are monsters, and they gained their power. These are literally the descendants of Vlad the Impaler, who, for anyone familiar, Vlad the Impaler is the real-life person that the fictional character Dracula was based off of. And the reason Dracula wants to drink your blood is Vlad the Impaler. Guess what type of thing he did? Guess what he used to eat? Yeah. So, and these are the descendants of him, right? And recently, I forget which one of these princes of the royal family actually tried to buy his castle because they were trying to save Dracula's castle because that was their ancestor. And these people never stop being I mean, look, they hang out with Epstein and Savile, right? Like, hello, synapses. This isn't rocket science. So, anyway, and then I posted that in the context of that, I say, all of that colonialism, all of that imperialism, all that you-know-what-tism that people are so triggered by today that happened, 1860s it stopped, right? That family is directly responsible for that, and that's why they have all that wealth. And these people will they'll be like, they're not responsible for what their ancestors did. Oh my God. Like, when I hear people write this stuff, I'm like, you really did, like, I understand why these controllers want to do what they do. Like, I understand it. They look at society and they're like, these people deserve to be ruled. And I'm like, I follow God, I follow Jesus, so I will never go that route. But I understand why these people think that way. I'm like, oh my God. They're not responsible for what their ancestors did. They're responsible when they're getting $150 million of taxpayer money a year. Yeah, they're responsible. Got him. Got the spider. I don't like taking those guys out, but some of these in the south are venomous. So, had to happen. But, so yeah, you are responsible when you're getting $150 million a year from the taxpayers for your family to live your cozy life. They're not responsible. When the queen or the king now has the legal authority to shut down the entire country or to walk into Canada or other countries and shut down their government? Yeah, you're responsible. Man, like, and these people, they're like, oh my God, worship them. It's like, man, you deserve what you get. Like, it's just crazy to me. The Discord is super fun community. Wish I could spend more time in there. Yeah, get in there, Nettie. I want more of you interacting. Be good for everyone. I think it was Charles trying to regain the castle. I mean, that's just some wild stuff, right? Like trying to get his ancestors' castle. Vlad the Impaler, who I think I'm going to make a gravy video this week on Vlad the Impaler, since these royal you-know-what holes, these people are, it's their ancestors. Oh, they're not responsible for what their ancestors did. Because I'm a binary thinker, and that would make me responsible for what my ancestors did. And you can't think of the 100,000 different variables that would invalidate any claim about that. Like, it's not comparing apples to oranges. I mean, apples to apples. It's apples to oranges. It's like these people are just, their level of thought is just basically non-existent. Responsible. Keep giving them $150 million a year to live a life of service. And then you get these propagandists who go on, and they don't understand that these royal families, through groups like the Royal Institute of International Affairs, right, through the firm MI6, that they still control everything in the country. They never gave up their power. What they did was they recognized that monarchs around the world were being taken out, and they figured they better pivot and find a way to make it look like they're not so hands-on, and they're just figureheads that everyone loves. Like, hello, McFly, is anyone home? Hello, McFly. Let's go back to the future, people. They're not responsible. Ooh, they'd be responsible if I was in charge. They wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like it if I were the district attorney. We'll say, we'll word it. They wouldn't like if it was District Attorney Pike. They're not responsible. The greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world he didn't exist. And the greatest trick the people in power, real power, ever played was convincing you that they're not in power. They put these little puppets in front of you. Democrats, Republicans. Oh no, not my precious Republicans. The Republicans are out there on the front line. They're going to save us. They can't even protect the bathroom. What do you think they're conserving? They can't conserve the men's room and the girls' room. The Republicans are out there. They only charge us 40% on our taxes. Oh my God. That's why like I see from the perspective of these controllers. They're like, why wouldn't we rule these people? Why, like, what do they do that suggests they shouldn't be ruled? Do they grow their own food? Like, they're like, oh my God, I'm so mad about the ism that ended in 1865. Give me your bank loan. Can I take out a $500,000 bank loan? Okay. Okay. That's why, like, they use the term in the wrong way, because it's always like these dumb libtards that use the term, and like they're the most brainwashed people of all. But like there is truth in the like freedom. There really is truth in that. I just want to be free to take my loans, and watch my dirty films. You don't even understand how freedom is obtained and how you're controlled. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it on that. For anyone interested in what I do, you can find it at www.classicallearner.com. Click on Homeschools Connected, and if you use the discount code FREEDOM, all lowercase and no spaces, it is $10 a month to join. And you get access to everything I put out, all of the lesson plans, all of the unit studies, all of the courses, and everything that goes into our community. And I think our members would be more than happy to tell you that I don't just put stuff out, I escalate what I put out. So, I mean, we're already doing a tremendous amount, and just wait till you see where we are 12 months from now, because I'm getting to the place where I could start to bring in some people, and we're going to do some really cool things. And, I mean, I have so much I have to do. Like, the last week and a half have been very eye-opening to me, because some vulnerabilities were brought to my attention, which, but again, that's good. That gives me strength, because that shows me where I have to build out, what I have to do, who I have to partner with, and we're going to do some really positive things on that front. So, with that being said, freedom isn't free. I forgot the coupon code when I signed up. Inbox me, Eddie. Inbox me on the Discord. May you be blessed with all that you're doing. Thank you, Michelle. Really appreciate that. God bless you and your family. So, www.classicallearner.com, Homeschools Connected. You can find me every day. You can find me everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm Classical Learner. A lot of alternative platforms that I don't post to, but I am Classical Learner, and I need to start posting there. It's a lot. So that's going on. It's classicallearner.com. Freedom isn't free. We have to earn it every day, and I'll be back sometime tomorrow morning to earn it. I try for 9:30, but it probably won't happen, so probably like 10:30, 11. This is for Melissa.